Okay, let's talk about student loans. For so many of us, they feel like this impossible maze, right? Just a tangle of confusing terms, deadlines, and really big decisions. But what if you had a clear map to guide you through it all? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to cut through all that noise and lay out the main paths you can take, helping you find the absolute best route for your own financial journey.
First up, we need to talk about something that can be a real financial trap, one that a lot of people just don't see coming. It's called the student loan tax bomb. And yeah, it sounds dramatic, but it's a very real thing we have to get our heads around right from the start.
So here's the big, kind of scary question. You've been paying for years, you finally get your loans forgiven, but could that huge moment of relief actually land you with a massive, unexpected tax bill? Believe it or not, for some people, the answer is a definite yes.
So what is this tax bomb? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. The IRS has this rule where, most of the time, canceled debt is treated just like income. So if your lender forgives, say, $50,000 of your student loan, the IRS might look at that and say, hey, that looks like $50,000 of income to us. And you guessed it, they're going to want a piece of that. The lender even sends you a form for it, a 1099-C, just to make it official.
This right here is the most important part. You really need to know when to worry and when not to. The tax bomb is mainly a risk for folks on those long-term income-driven repayment plans. You know, the ones where you pay for 20 or 25 years and then the rest is forgiven. That forgiven amount, that's what can be taxable. On the flip side, major programs like public service loan forgiveness are specifically set up to be tax-free. Same goes for those awful situations like a permanent disability or if your school ripped you off.
All right, hopefully that clears up the whole tax bomb thing. Now that you know about that potential pothole, let's zoom out a bit. Tackling your student loans isn't just one single choice. It's more like looking at a roadmap with a few very different routes you can take.
You've basically got 4 main highways to choose from, and the one you pick really depends on where you're trying to go. You've got specialized forgiveness, that's for people with certain careers. Income-driven plans, that's kind of like the scenic route. The monthly toll is lower, but it takes longer, and you've got that potential tax bomb at the end. Consolidation is like merging a bunch of small, messy roads into one simple freeway. And refinancing, that's like jumping on a brand new high-speed expressway. It can be faster and cheaper, but you can't ever get back on the old public roads.
So let's look at that first path, specialized programs. The biggest one you hear about is Public Service Loan Forgiveness, or PSLF. The deal is, if you work full-time for the government or a qualifying nonprofit and you make 120 payments, poof, the rest of your federal loan balance could be gone, tax-free. It's an amazing option, but you have to be in the right kind of job. Then there's path 2, the income-driven plans. For a lot of people, these are an absolute lifeline. They cap your monthly payment based on how much you make, which keeps things affordable. But, like we just talked about, this is the road that can lead straight to that tax bomb after 20 or 25 years. So it's a trade-off, right? Manageable payments now for a potential tax headache way down the line. And that brings us to this huge crossroads that so many people hit, especially if forgiveness isn't in the cards. Should you refinance your loans or should you consolidate them? They sound super similar, I know, but trust me, they are completely different tools for totally different jobs.
This chart lays it all out. Consolidation, that's a government thing, only for federal loans. It just bundles them all together into one payment. Super simple, but your interest rate doesn't go down. Refinancing, that's done with a private bank. You can roll federal and private loans together, and if you've got good credit, you can seriously lower your interest rate. But, and this is the big one, look at that key drawback. When you refinance, it is a one-way street.
You see, every single one of these choices comes with a trade-off. There is no secret best answer that works for everyone. There's only the best answer for your life and your goals. And figuring out what you gain versus what you might give up, that's the whole ballgame. So if there is one thing you remember about refinancing, please let it be this. The second you refinance a federal loan with a private lender, it is no longer a federal loan. It's gone. You permanently lose access to all those federal perks, like the income-driven plans, a pause in payments if you lose your job, and any forgiveness programs that might come along in the future. That door closes, and it's locked for good.
And this right here is a perfect example of a trade-off. Step 1, you pick a longer loan term to get a lower monthly payment. Feels great, right? An immediate win. Step 2, suddenly your budget isn't so tight, you've got more breathing room. But then you get to step 3, the catch. By stretching that loan out over more years, you end up paying way more in total interest. It's the classic short-term relief for long-term pain.
Okay, so we've got all this information, all these paths and trade-offs. How do we actually turn that into a smart plan you can use? Because knowing all this stuff is one thing, but actually applying it to your life, that's the next most important step.
All right, here we go, your action plan. First things first, you have to know what you're dealing with. Are your loans federal or private? Log into studentaid.gov and find out. Next, while you're there, use their repayment estimator tool. It is awesome. It'll show you what your payments would look like on different plans. Third, if you have any of those high-interest private loans, think about attacking those first. If you're leaning toward refinancing, please shop around. Get offers from a few different lenders. And last but not least, remember this. With federal loans, you have flexibility. If your life changes, your income changes, you can almost always change your repayment plan. That's a huge benefit.
So, to wrap this all up, I want to leave you with one final question to really think about. Looking at all these paths and choices, what is the number one most important thing for you? Is it having the lowest possible monthly payment, no matter what? Is it paying the least amount of interest over time, even if it hurts now? Or is it keeping access to those federal safety nets and forgiveness options? Your answer to that question, that's the compass that's going to guide your entire strategy from here on out.